Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm the King and welcome back to the channel. We recently received some updated descriptions for the Doctor accidentally, and essentially what this is showing us what the next updated Doctor is going to look like. We knew that the Doctor was going to receive an update with his base and some of his add-ons similar to what happened to the Nurse up and coming. The developers confirmed a long time ago that the Nurse and the Doctor were going to be reworked a bit, and we received the Nurse in the latest patch, and now we are going to receive the Doctor. This is a little bit early as we're supposed to receive this in the mid-chapter patch. The developers even acknowledged that some of these descriptions were updated in their known issue, so let's just jump on into it and talk about it. Carter's Spark is the power. Everything is pretty much the same except for this one key line. Grants the ability to charge and release a static blast attack that increases survivors' madness anywhere within the terror radius. So essentially what this means is that if you're in the killer's terror radius, the Doctor's terror radius, and he uses this static blast, any survivor that is inside of his heartbeat will have their madness increase. So you can no longer just walk around and people will just start screaming and their madness will continue to go up. You actually need to shock, and if anybody's in your terror radius, then they're in some trouble. Now, this is going to give light to some perks such as Distressing. This is going to become pretty much meta on the Doctor, as the bigger the heartbeat, the better. Even perks such as Monitor and Abuse can still work, as it does give you an increased heartbeat when in chase, so we could see stuff like that happening to the Doctor as well. So quite interesting stuff there with his base power, and I'm sure there's a lot more to come as time goes on, but we're going to have to wait about maybe a month and a couple of weeks until we actually see more information about this. Let's talk about some of the add-ons now. First of all, Obedience. Now everything is normal. It adds 2 seconds extra to snap out. However, listen to this line. Skill checks have a considerable chance to turn counterclockwise. What? So that means now, while you're doing your skill checks, they can go counterclockwise and you won't know when that happens. So in addition of it just being randomly on a screen, they're gonna go counterclockwise, making it even more difficult to snap out of it. And it's gonna add an extra 2 seconds as well. So if you're trying to snap out of it, you can actually mess this up and you'll have to repeatedly doing this again rather than just going to Madness 3 then easily snapping out by hitting a couple of easy skill checks. Next up is Scrapped Tape. All survivors struck by shock therapy or static blast special abilities acquire a lingering static charge. The static charge remains with the survivors until discharge. Multiple survivors struck by the same shock therapy or static blast special ability within a 4 meter of each other do not acquire a static charge. Anytime a survivor is within 4 meters of another survivor carrying a static charge, the survivor receives a shock with identical effects as the shock therapy special ability, and the static charge is discharged immediately. Essentially what this means is that if you are hit with the shock therapy or the static blast, you will now have this new effect called static charge. And once you are within 4 meters of another survivor, the survivor will receive a shock that gives you the same effects as shock therapy, which increases your madness, and it makes it so you can't vault or drop any pallets during that time, which is insane. So some more add-on reworks, and that's an uncommon add-on. Now there's 2 more to go down the list. Let's talk about Iridescent King. The shock therapy and static blast attacks cause the survivors to gain a random iridescent madness affliction from the following list. Skill checks turn counterclockwise. So that's the biggest takeaway from the Iridescent King. So they're going to receive 1 random effect, and the new effect here is Iridescent Obedience. Skill checks turn counterclockwise, which means all of your skill checks will be counterclockwise instead of just regular skill checks when you're snapping out of it. Now every single one of your skill checks, your healing skill checks, your generator skill checks, any skill check that you do can have the chance of turning clockwise. Let's talk about Carter's notes. Considerably increases your terror radius while static blast is ready. Considerably decreases your terror radius while static blast is on cooldown. The terror radius has a tremendous chance to play as if the survivor was on the edge of the killer's terror radius for a duration of 20 seconds. When in Madness 3, the terror radius heartbeat consistently plays as if the survivor was on edge of the killer's terror radius. So the new Carter's notes are basically going to make your terror radius even bigger. So combining that with something like distressing, imagine you were in a chase as well with monitor and abuse, you'll cover almost the entire map with your static blast, inflicting more madness onto everyone. There's some pretty cool stuff in this update that's coming up. I really do hope that it really makes the Doctor more balanced, more fair, more fun, because right now, if you've seen my tier list video from earlier today, he's pretty much in the bottom. He can use this tweak, he can use this buff up, and hopefully it'll make him a little less annoying to play against, and in addition to that, make him a little bit more stronger as well. What do you guys think about all these changes? I'm not sure why Dead by Daylight also listed this as a known issue when they could have easily just given us the correct descriptions, but who knows. Anyways, as I said, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Leave a like if you did enjoy the video, and subscribe for some more daily Dead by Daylight content. As always, I'm Nick King. I tip my crown to you guys, and we'll see you in the fog.